Hi, everybody. It's Denise Dealbart here, and I am with the amazing Ilene today. Now, if you don't know who I am the founder of Living Beyond Grief and Loss, and I'm also the founder of my unique flow method, which is a 4-step simple method of healing your grief rapidly. So, not staying in your grief, not wallowing in your pain, but moving forward. Now, I've brought Eileen on today because she is just amazing. Eileen has been through and she's graduated from my flow program. And she's also done other programs with me as well. But I'll let Eileen explain to you in her words as to where she started. So, Eileen, if you can briefly just say, where you started and how you found me, and we'll go from there.
Okay, well, the funny thing is, I think I found you, but I didn't know I found you. Um, about 2, 3 months out, I somehow joined your group um, and didn't even know I had. And then it kind of got to about the year. It was 1 year since he died, and I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. I've tried things. I've thought I something would work. I have no schedule. I don't know when I get up. I don't know when I go to sleep. I don't know if I eat. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm crying. I'm a mess. I literally couldn't put things together, and everybody kind of told me that. Actually, they said you need help, and I said I know, but got help, and nobody helped me. And then I don't know why, but I revisited the group that I had been ignoring, and I saw that Denise had something. She says, "You can get a free call," and I'm like, "All right, nothing lost." I've had my free calls; they haven't done anything, but let's try one more. So
Yeah.
it would have been like a little over a year at that point, um, and I remember talking to Denise and telling her, um, "Yeah, you can't help me. I've already talked to all these other people. You're not going to be able to help me. I'm just a total wreck right now." And she figures she somehow got me to say yes to flow and that she could help me. And yeah, that was it. The fact that anything at all happened was amazing because literally I couldn't make a decision on what to eat for breakfast at that point. So even saying yes to that was huge.
Yeah. And at that stage too, Eileen, I'd like to also sort of mention that money wasn't something that you were left with.
Oh no,
You
I
had no money. You didn't know how you were going to pay, but
no.
you made a plan, didn't you?
Yeah, so yeah, it was pretty bad. When he died, I literally had no place to live and no money. I did have his car, um, and my brother wired me $100 so I had money to go buy groceries. And then a friend said they were coming back from vacation, and then I could come and stay with them. And I think I stayed for a month or something. But literally, I had nothing. So that's how it started, and I wasn't in a much better place a year later. To be honest, it was constantly trying to figure out how I was going to pay for just everyday things. But I was
Mm.
like, I'm going to make this work because I got to get out of this where I'm at because I can't live my life like this. This isn't a life anymore, right?
Mm. Mm. So you didn't let money stand in your way, because a lot of us use money as an excuse. I can't afford it. I haven't got the money, or my kids need the money, or I need a new roof, or my car needs repairs. Why why were you so important, and why did you hustled and you became resourceful to find the money, to find the dollars for you to invest in yourself? Why?
Well, so here's my thinking was that if I continued the way I was in, I wasn't going to have anything more, right? The way I was going, it was only going one way, and that was not in a positive way. So if I make an investment and that makes a change, then I have an opportunity to actually make some more money. Because the way I was at that moment, I'm not even sure you'd want to hire me to, serve you at fast food, because I'd probably mess up your order. So I was in such a state that I could barely function. So being able to function would mean I could do a lot more. And so that was an easy trade-off, honestly, once I thought of it that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And was it a worthwhile trade-off?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I definitely, I mean, it, within a few weeks, I was already starting to be able to like do things, and not just, my days were just one after another, and there wasn't anything going on in them until we started working together. And then it was like, okay, let's have a plan, let's have a goal, let's do, even if it was something small, to get something accomplished. I wasn't getting anything accomplished up till then. And each of those things helped me to then figure out what else I could do, and something else I could do. And I had a business that I was really not running very well, to be honest. And I actually made money after we worked together. I started making some money in the business, which I had not really been doing, because I pretty much just ignored everybody and everything. I couldn't focus on it, right? I couldn't focus on anything.
I was going to ask you what made the difference after we worked together that you started making money in the business.
I think really just being able to see value in something that I could do every day. I up until then, I really didn't see any value in anything that I did. Nothing was worth it, right? Mm-hmm. And so what's the point? So stay in bed till 4 o'clock in the afternoon if you don't have any value, right? And that started to change. And that once that started to change, I was able to start to say, oh, well, I could actually do something and help somebody. And that gave me a good feeling. Up until then, I didn't have that.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier on that you did other things before your breakthrough call with me, and before you decided, okay, I'm going to work with Denise and I'm going to find the money. I don't care where, I don't know how, but this is my chance now. What other methods did you try, and why didn't they work?
I think I talked to a few. There were some other grief coaches, and I maybe talked to them once or twice. Like I would kind of have a call with them and here and there, but there wasn't any process. There wasn't a course. There wasn't any. It was just talking to somebody. I had actually talked to like a life coach for a bit too, but she didn't really understand grief, and she was trying to help me, and I couldn't get up to her beginning level, basically, right? So I couldn't take advantage of what she was trying to teach me because I couldn't get to it. I did therapy. The therapy, it was good to have somebody to talk to, but it didn't solve anything. It didn't help me figure out what do I want and where am I going and what do I want to do, right?
Yeah, because therapy is just that. It's talk therapy. Mm-hmm. And we can't, as you now know, we can't talk our way out of grief. We have to take action. We have to take action, and we have to heal on an inner core level. So, how did you find the flow method and living beyond grief so different? What was so different between what you had tried before?
I think going through the flow method and look and the questions that were asked, and the and like the homework kind of thing of going through all of those pieces, it really made me think about things differently, for sure. I know that for me, I actually got stuck and did the beginning ones over and over again, because I would go through it and then I'd realize, wow, I feel different now. I need to go back. And I'm still not certain that I ever finished the whole thing, by the way.
And that's the beauty about it. You don't have to finish the whole thing. The fact is that even if you get a quarter of it or 3/4 of it or half of it done.
Yeah. It still helps, because I would go back and I would I went back and I would do the first part and I'd be like, yeah, okay, now I understand what this was about and where I'm going. And I would have my answers from before and they would be different. And then I would look at things and I kind of like walk back into pieces of it that I had a hard time answering or I had a hard time going through that were really difficult. Then I would come back months later and do them. I've actually gone back to them years later, to be honest, and looked at pieces of it because if I'm in a difficult place, there's some parts of it that are really helpful to get through that. And so I would go back into it. So it's not something you don't have to do it. I know some people do it. They started step 1 and go to whatever step 10. And I didn't do that. I did start at step 1, but then I would jump around and I come back to things. And I went, and so like I said, I don't know that I finished the last pieces, but I went through it all. And I think about it, like when I'm in the midst of stuff, it's a reminder. Oh, this is what, the way I walk through that. Now, if I have something that I'm going through, I can take that and use it for other things too.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think of our calls that we had, our one-on-one coaching calls, our one-on-one grief coaching calls?
So the grief coaching calls were great because you could, first off, going through this, I was kind of slow moving and I would ask a lot of questions about things and just kind of talk through it and understand what it was that I was trying to do. Like I was trying to answer the questions and I was getting so stuck. And the nice thing is Denise would then explain it and help me to find a way to look at it that would help me to be unstuck. And because really it wasn't that the question was hard, it was that I was having a hard time just dealing with the answer, dealing with what I wanted and where I was going. And so a lot of times it wasn't that it was a tough question. It was that I was not yet ready for it. And so helping me to get ready for it and figure out, well, what do you want to do before that and move through? And like, I didn't ever feel pushed in any way. It was just really helpful answering my questions and walking through the material.
Mm-hmm. And it's safe to say, Ilene, that your grief journey wasn't a normal grief journey. I will just briefly fill in a few gaps for those that don't know you. I know a lot of you ladies and a lot of you people in the group and on the page know Ilene, and you've seen her story before, and you've walked her journey with her. Ilene, basically, in a nutshell, her husband died overseas. And when he died, she discovered that he had another whole family there that she knew nothing of. She had an inkling just before he died, and then, of course, he died, and Ilene uncovered and started unpeeling all these layers of the deceit and the betrayal. So, for you, Ilene, I remember our first call, and I still remember thinking, oh, my goodness, I really need to be able to get through to Ilene that I can help you. Because it wasn't just grief that you were suffering. It wasn't just the loss of your husband. It wasn't just the loss of your loved one. It was the loss of your was betrayal.
Yeah. It was a lot more. I really, in what he did and what led up to his death, I really kind of lost everything.
Yeah.
It really, like, the life that I had led and the life I lead now are so different. It's an unbelievable. I mean, when I say I really lost everything, it was because he was lying, because he was doing things I had no idea about. So I didn't know that where I stood until he died, and then I discovered all these things, and some of them it took a little while, and I tell myself, I've given myself a lot of like this pep talk that says he did a lot of crazy stuff. You're gonna find more crazy stuff. to the day I die, I will find more stuff, and that I just be okay with it because I know it's there. And so when the next one comes and hits me, and I find out about it, I go, "Oh, look, one more to add to the pile."
But would you have been there where you are today if you hadn't enrolled in the flow program and we
No,
were together?
no. I mean, at that point, it was like a trauma, a new trauma every week. Every time I found something new, every time I understood something new, it's sometimes it was simply looking back at something that happened with new eyes could bring new trauma because I didn't know at that moment what he was doing. And then here I was understanding what he'd been doing. And I went, oh, that's what that was about. That's like a whole new trauma. And to feel that all the time is really hard. And so having the support from Denise and from going through flow helped me to go, oh, just another one on the list, and don't worry about it, and don't it doesn't have to be trauma every time, it didn't have to be new trauma every time, and that I could do that and I could start moving through it. And that helped me to move through the things that I was not moving through at all at that point.
Yeah. So fast forward to today. You've made an amazing journey through. I've been with you on your journey. A lot of people say to me, Denise, after the 8 weeks, do you disappear? No, I don't. We've been together now for 3-4 years.
I guess it's been 4 years. I think
4 years. 4 years.
Over 4 years now.
That's right. So, I often say, no, you get me for life. So if you don't like me, well, too bad, you've got me for life. But just watching you grow and watching your progress through every hurdle that you've had, and using the tools from the flow method, and using, reaching out for help. I think that is the key, is to reach out for help. Very often we don't reach out for help because we think, I can do this on my own. I've got this.
Yes, that was my thought up at the beginning, was I didn't reach out for help. And really, I don't even think I had spoken to too many people very long before I contacted you, because I was still not reaching out. And I didn't join groups. I didn't do things. I didn't, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'll join the various widow groups online and I'll make friends. And I wasn't even doing that for a long time. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I certainly didn't want to tell people this crazy story.
No, because everybody would go, huh?
Yeah, I actually, I think the very first few months, when I was really there was no filters or anything, and I was at with a group from my synagogue, and someone asked me something about it, and I told them too much. I say that too much.
Overshared.
I overshared. I was in a very bad place, and I've never spoken to that person since, by the way. She ran away scared. And it was like, oh, it was, and that, so the littlest bit of me trying to reach out to somebody was, I couldn't do it in a way that could help me. I could only do it in a way that then shocked other people. I couldn't manage it. And I learned pretty quickly, don't tell people, like, right, because people would be so shocked. And so I was like, I don't want to tell people the truth. I toyed with, I would tell people, it's going to be in my book, which has never been written, but because it's a long book, it's a lot of stories, there's a lot of things that happen.
It's a couple of series, I think.
Maybe, yeah. So it was really super unusual what happened, and I was not in a place to manage it. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, but where are you now? What what are you doing now? Share with us what you're doing now. What's changed in your life?
So I guess about a year after we started working together, I started this business that I'm doing now, which is all about um, doing all the tech stuff online for business owners, for small business owners, entrepreneurs. So I started out, you know, building a website, updating things, little stuff for people, and now I'm building virtual summits, which are conferences and online, and I build out whole systems for business owners to manage their clients, systems to track their invoices and all of those things, as well as, you know, building courses and email systems and all the techie stuff you need to run your business online these days. Which it turns out, in the midst of a pandemic and everybody being online, is a big deal. Um, right. So I do all the tech stuff. I've always been in the tech world, and this is a little different than, you know, working in corporate. But yeah, I have my own business and do all kinds of really interesting stuff in it now.
Now, to do tech stuff and to do the work that you're doing, you need a clear head. You need a clear mind.
Yes, that was a big thing. Which is, I remember my friend saying to me I should be doing the tech stuff before I even met Denise, and I just looked at her like, I don't think I can ever do it again. I literally, I can't think straight. I can't sleep. I don't know what's going on from day to day. How am I ever going to do anybody's tech stuff and keep track of it all? That's how I felt at that moment. I said, I'm never going to do it. I'm just going to go volunteer places and do other stuff, and, you know, really nothing jobs. I don't ever expect to be able to do this again. And yeah, and a year later I started this business, and I will say at the beginning it was extra hard to get back into that and to get back into thinking straight and figuring that out. And it took me a while to get that business rolling. And I realized that, and I gave myself a lot of space that I couldn't do the advanced stuff I used to do. It's going to take me time to get back to be able to think like that again. But now I'm doing all of it.
So would you say you're doing all of it using the tools you learned in the flow program and the flow method?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's really how it's helping me, is that I can use that to help me with all of the different things that come up and be able to to think, to be clear-headed, right? It constantly improves, is what I see. As I still have, there's still a lot of things that I have to work my way through, and I work through a lot of stuff. And each time I've been able to use those tools to help me get through it, I realize, oh, okay, now I'm a little more clear-headed. I can do a little bit more. And and it's really work. I'm going to tell you, I've had to work at it, because some of these things were like hard, really hard. It's a lot easier to just like stay in bed all day and do nothing. And rather than actually make an effort to say, okay, I'm going to work through whatever is bothering me, and so that I can come out of it and be, you know, successful and do things that I want to do.
I think that's the key, Ilene. I think you've hit the nail on the head right there. It's work. Now, it's work on yourself.
Yeah.
We live in a society and in a world where it's somebody come and fix me. And until we take responsibility for our own life, our own healing, and our own growth, guess what? Nothing changes, does it?
Right. Yeah.
So it is work, and we work together. We work together. So where would you say your confidence and your self-worth is today compared to when you started to where you are today?
Yeah, compared to then, it's like unbelievable. I don't think I could have seen that I could feel like I do now at that point. I absolutely didn't. I seriously was at the lowest point, and I was like, I don't see anything changing in my life, and it's just going to be a nothing life. what's the point, right? Kind of feeling at that moment. Like day to day, every day seemed like the same day and the same
Groundhog
awful
Day.
day.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day, and not a good Groundhog Day, right?
Yeah.
And now every day is different. I have a bunch of different kinds of clients. I got new clients coming in, working on new projects. Um, it's all really interesting and exciting, and I'm looking forward to all the things that I have planned already. I've got client stuff planned for February and March, and I'm working on some other things. So I'm already like thinking into next year and all the things that I'm going to do. When I first talked to you, I remember you wanted to make an appointment with me out further, and I said I don't make appointments out.
Yes,
Do you remember
I
that?
remember that.
I don't.
Yes.
I couldn't look in the future. I would not look in the future at all. I don't even think a week. I was maybe a few days at most. Could not think future at all at that
Yep.
moment, right? And now I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, I need to start planning my 2023, put it all out in a planner and plan out what I'm doing and all the new things I'm planning for my business and my life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
You couldn't do that. And how are your finances? How have they improved?
Definitely improving, and improving by the day from what I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got lots of new clients coming in, and I'm collaborating with a lot of different people who want to have me help them with what they're working on. So we're collaborating to bring some new projects out, and yeah, and I'm like I can't sleep because I'm busy. I'm just busy all the time. I'm busy. I'm like, and I have clients in different parts of the world. So I'm like, okay, I need to get up early for this one and stay late for this one. So
It's amazing, isn't it? I've got clients all
yeah,
over the world too. I work with anybody anywhere in the world. And,
right.
I often think, by 2:00 in the afternoon, because Australia, I'm in your future, I've already done an 8, 9, 10-hour day.
Right.
So yeah, it's a good problem to have though, isn't it? And I'm so proud of you for saying yes to yourself. This is the key. We very often, we see the opportunities, but we don't grab them. We don't say yes enough. We don't say yes and work out how. We just go no, no, because we've been taught no. No is just so easy to say no, it's not going to work for me. How do you know it's going to work for me? Why would it work for me? But when we say yes, our whole life changes. And look how your life has changed because you said yes and then you worked out how.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, Eileen, what would you say to anyone thinking of joining the Flow program? What's your message to them?
I think that if you're not happy with where you're at and you want to make a change, this is a great way to do it. This will help you to. It's a program that lets you see where are the spots that you're stuck, because sometimes it's hard to see that. Like you're just stuck and you see it as I'm just stuck. Everything's stuck. It's all stuck. Instead of recognizing, well, no, actually, this part I'm okay in, and this part I'm really stuck in, and then you have something to go work towards, and you can put the effort in, and you can get through that. And another thing I'd say is that the flow system isn't a thing you go through and you're done. It's life.
Yeah.
So you'll come back to it, and you can use it for lots of different things.
Yeah, because you have the Flow program for life. It's yours for life, so it never disappears on you. Even though it's an 8-week program, it never disappears on you. You have access to it for life. And if there's any updates or any upgrades, then guess what? You get those as well. So yeah, so I'm so proud of you, Eileen. You have done an amazing job with your life and your growth, because that's what it's all is, growth. And we have to grow through and beyond our grief, and because grief is trauma. Grief is trauma. And as soon as we realize that we're actually going through a traumatic event in our life, and how do we heal the trauma? And how do we work through the trauma? So you've done incredibly well. You said yes to yourself. You worked out how. You had no money. You went through hell. You walked through the flames, but you look how beautifully you've come out the other end because you said yes to you, and you recognize the need for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's recognizing it and then taking the step to do something.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that was a big thing to do, to actually say, oh, I'm going to do a program, and it's got 8 weeks, and I'm like, I can't think past like 2 days.
Yeah.
8 weeks was forever at that point. It
Yeah.
really was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you got through it. And as you said earlier on, you alluded to it earlier on, you don't even think you finished the whole program, but look how far you've got
I,
today.
I go back through it and look at it, and every so often, and there was a spot, I think, at the end that I realized, oh, I could do that easily. Which every time I would go through it, I would just keep going, oh, I can't do
Yeah,
this part. But now I know I could do it. It wouldn't be anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, to anybody watching us, book your call with me. It's livingbeyondgriefandloss.com/talk. I've put it up on the screen for you. Write it down. That's where Ilene started. She started with her free grief breakthrough call. 110, 120, 150% convinced herself that I wouldn't be able to help her. But the fact that it was a free call, what the heck, I'll just do it anyway. And look at you now. Look where Ilene is today. Yes, it's 4 years that Ilene and I have been together. But Ilene, didn't take you 4 years to start healing and to start growing.
No, it did not.
So,
Yeah.
book your call. It's livingbeyondgriefandloss.com/talk. That takes you to my diary. Choose a time that suits you. It automatically, even though I'm in Australia, it automatically converts it. It's the magic of IT. Hey, Ilene, don't
Yes.
question how it works. It just works. The only thing I do say is if you're in the US or the UK, please be aware of AM and PM. AM is the morning and PM is the afternoon. And I say that because I get some people that book calls with me at 1 a.m. your time. Now, for me, it might be 3 p.m. the next day. In my time, it's okay for me. But because my diary's open doesn't mean that I'm going to call you at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's just not going to happen. So that's the only thing, is just be aware of your AM and PM that you're booking it in a time where you are available. There's a short questionnaire, and fill that out, complete that, because that just gives me an idea of where you are in your grief journey, so I can serve you 110% on our call. So, book your call, livingbeyondgriefandloss.com/talk, and be like Ilene. Say yes and work out how. Thank you so much, Ilene, and I appreciate and love you forever.
Thank you.
I don't think we'll never not be in each other's lives. It's so amazing to see your progress and to see where you've come from to where you are now. I'm very proud of you, girl.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ilene.